Record the call. Awesome, guys. Well, I'm so excited. I'm so grateful that you guys made a decision, chose to be here this evening. You don't have to be on these calls. You choose to be here. And I have an idea that you are here because you want to get better in some way. You want to grow. You want to improve yourself. And I'll tell you right now, I don't take it lightly that you guys make the decision to choose and have your time be spent on a call like this. Calls like these, I'll just kind of map out the purpose for you. These calls are meant to give you an environment that is conducive to your growth. I want to help you in some way, shape, or form make the most, number one, of your investment here inside of the academy, inside of this space that we're in, inside of our tight knit community that we have. I want to make sure that you are on track, ensuring that you're on track with what you're doing, trading, investing, making an impact, developing, growing yourself. And then third, positioning yourself for success. We have an entire academy. We have a community inside of, the organization, even with Mike Soltero, where you are able to plant yourself and grow. And I truly believe if you are here with an intention, you have purpose in the steps that you make, you will gain so much more than you even expected to come here to receive. And I truly believe what you put into this is what you're going to get out of it. And tonight, these calls, they're oftentimes they're just reminders. They're reminders. There may be a reset for you. There may be a reignition to more fuel added to the fire that you already have going. But a lot of times it's a belief check, man. We go through so many things in life. Drop a 2 in the chat if you can relate. We go through so many things in our personal life and maybe our job, our career, where I get it. Life happens. And a lot of times life is going to bleed in to what we do inside of our development and our trading, our investing. It's going to influence the choices that we make, the decisions that we make, whether we're going to, put that money aside and invest in ourselves to have a membership another month. It's also oftentimes going to influence our decisions if we're actually going to save money, put money aside to eventually invest, actually put money in the markets, actually be able to open a live account, the whole 9 yards. It's going to influence a lot of our decision making when it comes to what we do here. And this call here tonight, fight for it or forget about it. I want to kind of just paint this picture in perspective for y'all with wherever you're at in your life. And a lot of this stuff, I think, at the end of the day, these quotes, these scriptures that we hear, they may not be relevant until you're actually living through the things that you're going through. And so I do want to share some scripture with you guys tonight. I think we always have to be prayed up. We always have to, be ready, be on guard, be developing ourselves in the word. And I hope that through some of the scriptures that I share, it encourages you to get back in your good book, to build up your armor of God, and just start to get yourself ready and prepared for when life happens. And I lean on the word so much in my day to day now. I can't even tell you just from even a year or 2 years ago what that has done for me. And I want to relate this to our journey here, our career here in trading. So if y'all are with me, drop a 3 in the chat. I want to start off just with this one scripture. And I promise you, all of this is going to tie into how you will become profitable, how you can create the success that you came here to do inside of this platform, putting your money to work, getting your money working for you, trading, investing, the whole nine. Okay. So write this down. Isaiah 30:20 says, the Lord gives you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction. The Lord gives you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction. And this, I actually read this morning. And when I read it, I was like, that's interesting. What does that mean? And I'm going to relate it again to our journey here. But the first thing that I thought about was, pain and struggle and adversity, the difficulties, the challenges that we go through, the pain and the struggle that we experience. A lot of times we've got our guards up. We're kind of avoiding. You guys know this in your personal life, and then let's take it to the charts. We're seeing loss after loss. over leveraging our account because we're trying to make up for, what we didn't make based on our attachment to the result, based on our expectation that's just misapplied, not accurate, not conducive to what's required. And so the pain and the struggle I want to share with you here tonight, maybe as a reminder, or if this is the first time that you maybe need to hear this, the pain and the struggle that you're going to go through is necessary for you to grow and develop. And I'm gonna share with you, God has promised in his word that when we eat the bread of adversity and drink the water of affliction, of suffering, of pain, of the things that we go through, the teacher, the guidance, the provision, the way, okay, the teacher is not hidden, meaning your eyes will see your teacher, aka God, aka Christ. It simply means we will learn as you're going through the pain, as you're going through the suffering, as you're going through difficulty and challenges in your trading career, in your investing career. I believe at the end of the day, I was going to say this at the end, but I'll say it right now. I believe that everything that you're going through here, whatever y'all believe in, I'm going to say Christ on this call, is meant for him to develop you through the things that you're going through. It simply means we will learn valuable lessons, important lessons, essential lessons from the hardship that we're going through. So the things that you're experiencing inside of your trading journey right now that you don't like, that feels uncomfortable, that's inconvenient, I'm going to make this very practical in a second. It's all, you have to go through it. There's no avoiding, there's no going around the wall. You have to go through it. So you don't have to share it in the chat, but can we all maybe agree some challenges that maybe we're going through in our personal life? Drop a 5 if you have some things that are going on in your life right now that has nothing to do with trading, that has nothing to do with investing, that has nothing to do with IM Academy, but you're bearing the brunt of it. You're going through it maybe alone, or it feels that way. You feel isolated, which I'm going to tell you right now, the devil wants you isolated. We cannot have that. You cannot succumb to that isolation. We know where that will go, just leading to discouragement, defeat, doubt, and fear. We cannot feed into that. We're going through some real life problems, some real life issues where it just doesn't make sense. And maybe it's not to a harsh degree. Maybe you've just been kind of going through it. Life is just hitting you over the head and you just kind of got used to it. It's kind of like the dog that just sits on the nail, but it's not to the point where it's so uncomfortable, so painful where he doesn't move. He just kind of is settling in the pain. And maybe that's us right now going through the motions in our day to day where we're just kind of settling, but settling leads to comfort. And there's nothing that grows in our comfort zone. We know that. But I just want to express to you what you're seeing and what you're feeling in your personal life. We have to be very mindful. We have to be very cautious and careful, because if we don't pay attention, we will allow that to filter into our trading, into our decision making. I had a conversation with somebody the other day who is looking to come back into the platform, knows how to trade, but their biggest struggle, like they have their strategy, they understand how to read charts and technical analysis, but the reason why they wanted to come back, one, is because of trust. This is the most familiar thing to them. They have a relationship with myself and in this platform. But secondly, is their confidence. They want to be able to get better with their execution, and a lot of times this stems from our personal life bleeding into our trading, because a lot of our reality stems from what we believe, and those beliefs we're still holding on to. And a lot of times, if we don't pay attention, the beliefs that we're holding on to are actually keeping us in bondage and actually neglecting us from seeing the blessing that's right in front of us for us to have a breakthrough. And so this causes us, if we're not mindful of the decision making because of our personal life infecting our reality, it causes us to over leverage our account. I'm going to get into why I titled this call tonight, Fight for It or Forget About It. But this leads to us over leveraging our account, being impatient with our entries or our targets, not following our risk management plan, not following our plan or confirmations as a whole, justifying. How many of y'all can relate? I cannot be the only one that has gone through this. Justifying our actions. We know that we should not be doing that, but we're doing it anyway because we feel that the market is going to go this way. No, there's no feelings in trading. Okay. That's how you get, you know what, okay? That's how you blow an account. Justifying your actions, compromising your rules, jumping from one thing to the next. I can't tell you how many times we have conversations with people that are just jumping from one strategy to the next. I challenge all of you guys to watch Patrick Kenny's session that he did today. It was incredible. Whether you use sci-fi or not, it doesn't matter. He's always spitting game, dude. He's always just giving you gems, man. I'm on his session. Half the time I watch Jay Awal, I watch Patrick Kenny, I watch these guys. I don't use their strategy. I'm listening for their perspective, man. I want to think like an investor in a trader that has 7 million in their trading account, 6 figures in their trading account, multiple 7 figures in their portfolio. I want to think like these guys. And if you're only showing up just for the setups, just hurry up and give me the trade idea. I got to make some money on my $100, $200, $500 account. You're missing it, man. You're missing it. We got to start to operate differently. So that's besides the point. That's not my message tonight. Compromising your rules, jumping from one thing to the next. Oh, that's what he said on his session today, is like, you can literally make it with any strategy. I'm actually going to get to him in a second at the end of the call. You guys should watch his session from today. Compromising your rules, jumping from one thing to the next, lacking self-control. That's a fruit of the spirit. Lacking discipline, anxious about everything, wanting faster results, but have little to no practice under your belt. Where's your track record? Where's your history of consistency? I have all these, people like to post their profits and their wins, but like, look how much they're over leveraging. Look how inconsistent their risk management is. Look how inconsistent their risk to reward is. I don't care about any of that, man. I don't care about any of that. And none of the real educators will either. Show me how consistent and disciplined you are. That's what Patrick Kenny and all these educators are going to tell you. Like, real deal, Mike Navarrete, Jay Awal, PK, like, I can go on. They are going to tell you and share with you risk to reward all day long. You can go 46% accurate. That is what Patrick Kenny showed on his session today. If you were just using sci-fi, and it literally doesn't matter what strategy you use. I did it with the harmonic scanner. I wrote out the results for this week. If you guys were for those that are out here in Arizona, we had an AZ meeting on Tuesday, and I literally showed, like, I pulled up all the trades on the harmonic scanner for this week, literally mapped them out, have them on my phone of what results you would have gotten just from taking those trades. I was doing it just from the 4-hour time frame. I mean, like, come on. I'm gonna do this for the rest of the month. You guys want to check back and see what the results are. It's just risk to reward. The strategy gives you an edge, but at the end of the day, it's your decision making. You're the variable. So we need to eliminate you as the variable as much as possible and keep your confirmations, keep your plan as consistent as you can make it. That's how you're going to succeed in trading. I'm not the educator. I'm literally just regurgitating information that I've heard on their sessions. With Mike Navarrete said, information forms you. Information will form you. Which you should watch his sessions. He goes live every single Sunday, a psychology session. And a lot of times, that's why a lot of the conversations that I have with individuals, this individual that's wanting to come back, just on their psychology. They want the right path, the right information to build their psychology, to build their belief, to build their confidence, to give them the right perspective, an elevated perspective. I think sometimes we just complicate this so much. And I look at my trading account, I've got a couple accounts, and it's just like, what are we doing? We're overcomplicating this. And I'm only sharing this with you guys, and I'm passionate. I'm not trying to be aggressive at anybody. I've seen what I've seen. I know what I know. And I take action off of that. And if we could just understand, like, we're doing too much or we're not doing enough, we just need to do like the same thing little by little over and over again. Like, we're going to see the results that we need to see. And so wanting faster results, but having little to no practice under your belt, you've got to have the reps. You've got to get your reps in, or just not having enough reps, not having the experience yet. And I can tell you, some of you guys have heard this analogy before, but it's so good because it's such a great visual on like what this really looks like. I'm trying to encourage you with this and hopefully reassure you of where you're at inside of your journey. Yes, I don't want us to overcomplicate this, but I also don't want to discredit the path, because majority of your success when it comes to just being profitable in your trading is going to come from the work that you do in yourself, the work that you do on yourself. And I know for me, I'll be the first person to tell you, raise my hand real high. I came into this space The way that I like to say it is I was 200 pounds overweight. Okay. That's the equivalent. When it comes to my financial literacy, when it comes to just how I was with money, I was 200 pounds overweight. If you can catch my visual with what I'm saying, meaning you think about a person that needs to lose 200 pounds, it's going to take some time. Number one, you've got to give yourself some grace in the journey and what that looks like. How many times do you think that person may have to start over because you're not just trying to get the weight off. You're working with a belief system, a programming, a conditioning that has been set in place, set in stone for years, if not decades. And that's what we're coming into with this space. And that's why I try to lead at least our team and our community with what's most important, with the right principles, with the right expectations, not being like, yes, like I want us to obviously have results, but like you're not going to be able to get the results, let alone keep it, if you don't have the right expectations about what this really means, what it's going to take to get there. And it's all about building your character, guys. It's all about building the right belief set. And so my question for you, okay, not we're not trying to just get money. We're trying to transform. This is about your transformation. So if you feel like you haven't had much of a transformation, look at the things that you're doing and look at your review and your reflection on those things. Are you actually learning from the lessons, from the experiences that you're going through, not just going through them, but growing through them? And so my question for you is, what are you fighting for right now? What are you fighting for right now? Because you're either fighting for your goals or you're fighting for your comfort. You're fighting for your familiarity. You're fighting for what's convenient. You're fighting for what's comfortable. You're fighting for your reasons, that why, that mission, that purpose, or you're fighting for your excuses. You're fighting for the things that have kept you where you are, your reality, always going back to, because that's what's familiar, that's what's normal, that's what feels safe. What are we fighting for? And you can tell and know what you're fighting for based on what you do every single day. Look at your day to day. Look at the actions that you're taking from the time you wake up in the morning to the time that you go to sleep at night. What does this look like? If you fight for your goals, it means you get up at your alarm. I'm trying to make this practical right now. You can devise this into whatever makes sense for you and your situation. But for me, it means getting up at my alarm, setting my alarm the night before, going to bed on time, I have my journal right here. Every night I write out what I do for the next day. Every night I write out what I do for the next day. Before I go to sleep, next morning I have my alarm go off. So for me, fighting for my goals, fighting for what I want most, not what I want right now, not convenience, not comfort, but what's most important, it means getting up at my alarm. I just have my family in town for 4 weeks. I'm not trying to make an excuse. I'm just saying, I'm being honest with you guys. I am working at getting myself back on track with a crazy schedule from having my mom stay with us for almost a month. So that's for me. Fighting for my goals means getting back on track, getting back to my normal routine, getting up at my alarm, giving myself time to actually work on myself before you clock in for somebody else. You get home from work. You're not going and doom scrolling it or jumping on and watching your favorite show because that's what's easy, because you're tired, you're exhausted. Man, let me put it to you like this. If you're 30 or under, around 35 or whatever, okay, even it really doesn't matter. But when you're 40, you're 45, you're 50, you're not going to want to come home and be tired, but you actually cannot just be tired and exhausted and doom scroll and turn on the TV. You won't be able to if you do that now. You have to make some sacrifices. I don't even really even look at it as sacrifices. Like, this is necessary for what I want. And so you have, obviously you guys get my perspective here, but you get home from work and you log on to your go live session. That's what you've got to do. You review your charts, you review your trades, even if you don't feel like it. Your feelings lied to you. The best thing I could share with you right now, just to kind of sum up this whole thing that I'm sharing with you, is I don't know, I can't remember what scripture it was, but the heart is deceiving beyond cure. Who can understand it? I always think about this in my head throughout the day. Whenever I don't feel like doing something, I'm always thinking about like that word. It's beyond cure. Who can understand it? The heart is deceiving. You know how the world tells you, follow your heart. do your truth or whatever they say. That's a lie. God's the truth. He is the way. He is the light. Beyond cure, who can understand it? And so I just want to express to you guys on this call, and hopefully I'm making a point here, and hopefully it's speaking to you in some way, shape, or form. But get intentional about your environment. Your environment, you know how important your environment is. It's everything. And I heard a talk the other day about somebody saying, the most successful people, what they have done is they've intentionally engineered their environment to be conducive to their growth. And so I have sections in my home where I have designated, it's like my designated work zone. Like this is where I go to work. This is where I focus. I shut my door in the room, and there's no distractions. Nobody's coming in to talk to me or to get in my head. Like this is my do not disturb zone, and this is where I go to work. I go to town. I'm locked in and I'm focused. Do you have that set up for yourself? Can you set something like that up for yourself, where there's a place in your home or something that's intentionally designed for you to get things done, for you to go to town, to focus in, to lock in? And who can agree? Drop a 2 in the chat. If you had more accountability, we would all be a completely different version of ourselves. If we had more accountability, we would be a completely different version of ourselves. This is why I love the Telegram, posting in there. Shout out. I think I saw a few people in there this week. I think Jake, you were posting in there some of your trades. Dustin, you were posting in there some of your trades. I'm not sure if Jitka's on the call, but she was posting some stuff in there regarding her account and where she's at, and just kind of being transparent. It doesn't have to be just wins or just losses. It can just be honest about where you are and what you're working on. I shared earlier, I think it was this week or last week, how for the whole month I had only taken 2 trades for like the first 2 weeks, and they were both losses. And then all of a sudden, just from the law of probability, just taking the trades, I got 2 wins back to back, and I was able to put myself back in a profitable state. Share those things, man. Like nobody cares. Like literally nobody cares. We all want to, rising tides raise all ships. We all want to see each other win and grow and succeed. And I can tell you, when you share the different aspects of this journey that maybe you're going through within reason, what you can share, you're going to not only, the accountability for yourself is going to do so much more good for you, but you're also going to impact and inspire people along the way. And I think that's a win-win. So Matt Rosa said this on his story earlier. He said small wins compound, and just always living in that state of mind, always living in that gratitude state, just being mindful, being intentional of how many small wins, not the big stuff. We all want the big stuff, but we don't recognize sometimes in the moment that the small things add up to the big things. How many wins are you compounding in your day to day? Because if you want to win the year, if you want to win the decade, it starts with winning the day. Winning the day, winning the week means you win the year, or sorry, win the month, so on and so forth. You win the quarter. And so I just want to share a couple things, and we'll kind of wrap up the call with a couple scriptures that I have with you. Are y'all good? Are we rocking? I want to make sure we're alive. We're ready to go. Awesome. PK said this on his session today and the other week. So I was watching a couple of his sessions. Just so you guys know, I'm not trying to deviate you from your educator. I'm just trying to give some perspective right now. But what's cool about what Patrick Kenny does on his sessions is every week on Mondays, he gives a forecast on the Forex side of the fundamentals and kind of how to approach the news in your trading. And so it's really given me a more mature outlook. I don't really trade the news, but I like to learn about how that affects the markets, and just having a well-rounded kind of mindset and perspective when it comes to my trading. And then on Thursdays, he goes through his charts Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but on Thursdays, he does a little bit of mindset. And what he does at the towards the end of his session is he goes through every single trade of the week for his specific strategy that he teaches on, sci-fi. And this past week, and I looked at the last previous weeks as well, just kind of recapping, I can't even make this up, man. He goes through every trade, and he's not even trying to he's giving if it could be like a partial loss, he's not giving you partial loss. He's making it full loss. just to show you like you will still be profitable if you follow this. So anyways, what I'm trying to say is he was 46% accurate this week. And I think even the week before and the week before, right around the same, 47, 48% accurate. And he was showing all the losses, all the break evens, just super transparent, all the wins. And he was 14. If you risk 2%, if you were risking 2% per trade, that's the same, consistent. You would have been up this week alone. He went through every single trade, 14% on your account. Okay. I think there was maybe 10 trades, 10 or 12 trades or so for this week. And then the previous week, it was like 13%. That's on if you were risking 2% per trade. Now, I risked 1%. So for me, it would have been like a 7% gain for the week, which is like insane. I'm 4.5% up on my own, like just my own trading. So to see that from a strategy that gives you an edge like that, that's insane. And all the strategies, I love that he said this. Like if you're like, oh, I got to go to SciFi now because I heard this, they have great results over there. BS, man. Stop with that mentality. Like, stick with the strategy. I'm just giving you a perspective, and I'm not trying to be aggressive. Again, I'm just passionate about like what we have here, and I just want you guys to find a lane, and I just want you to be consistent with it because I know that you can grow your trading account. Your trading account is meant for you to compound your money. Your investment, your portfolio is meant for you to accumulate assets. Build that thing up, man. Go build that thing to six figures. Go build that thing. Like we've got an opportunity of a lifetime right now with the swipe point ideas that they've been sending out. I hope you've been taking advantage of them. I hope you've been deploying your money that you've been stacking. I hope that you've been stacking. If you haven't, it's okay. It's not too late. You need to start tonight. You got to start today. Not just with I got to hurry up and get all this money, but I gotta switch my mentality. I've got to do a reset on myself. I haven't been taking this as seriously. And that's what these calls are meant to be and designed for. We don't need all the glamour or the glitz or anything like that. We got a special call here tonight. Like that's fine, throughout the month if we've got something going on like that. But we've got to go live, man. Get on with your educator. Plug in with them. Like it's a religion. Get on their session on a day-to-day basis and study them. But calls like these, man, I want these to be a way for you to have that reminder, have that belief check, have that perspective to go out and get back in the game, to get yourself back on track, or just fuel that momentum that you already have and see other people that are already doing well or maybe struggling and you can get the inspiration from other people. But man, we've got so much going for us right now. And I know some of the things that I don't know the things that they're going to roll out, but I know that they've got some crazy, crazy things that they're going to roll out at the Mexico convention, which I was going to share this at the end. But if you guys are wanting to go, I am looking at some Airbnbs right now. There is still time that you guys can make it there. We're trying to, obviously do what we can to keep this as cost effective for everybody, but it's Mexico, man. A lot of things are already discounted more than the United States or wherever you guys are tuning in from. So anyways, make sure you guys are not on the bench. Make sure that you are stacking your cash, you're deploying your money when they share with you the zones to get in, which they have been calling out more exchange ideas than normal. This is your opportunity. But yeah, Patrick Kennedy says it best. He was like, you're the problem. And when I mean that, I mean you cannot seem to get out of your own way. When I say you're the problem, he says, I mean you just cannot seem to get out of your own way. You're self-sabotaging yourself. He said, when you will get good at this when you are disciplined. And guess what? Being disciplined, having self-control is a fruit of the spirit. And I said this earlier, but I'm going to say it again. I really do believe that we have the opportunity here when we go through hardship, when we go through things that are uncomfortable, when there's friction. I believe that that is an opportunity for you to encounter Christ along your journey and go through the pain and suffering that's needed. Okay. And I say this, I don't say this lightly. I mean this. You're going to go through some stuff here, and it's meant to refine you. It's meant to purify you. It's meant to renew you. It's meant to transform you. Don't shy away from it. I want you to embrace it. When we experience pain, I want you to embrace it. Like, I'm not a masochist up in here, but I am saying like, you're going to go through pain, and I want there to be an expectation of like, so you're not blindsided of, oh, I'm touching the fire a little bit. I'm touching the fire. My pastor said, some of us go to the same church. Our pastor said the other day at service, the fire is for you. And I love that, man. I love that. Like just that mindset, like the fire is for you. And when you're walking through this, you're going to feel some fire. You're going to feel some heat. It's for you, man. It's meant to refine you. And so Patrick Kenny goes on to say the human element of trading is, that's what I'm trying to say is when don't discredit this journey. You're the one that seems to always get in your own way, and it doesn't always need to be like that. There are things that you're going to go through that are going to bring that awareness, bring that revelation to yourself of where you're actually getting in your own way. But until you stop and slow down and pause and review and reflect, like first, if you're not taking action, you've got to be taking action. Second, if you're taking enough action but you're not reviewing and reflecting, that's your problem. You got to stop and see like what actually is keeping me from what I want to see, where I want to go. If I just took those harmonic scanner trades for the week, I'd be up 5% right now, just from those trades alone. And it's not me. I mean, it is me, but it's the strategy. It's me executing. It's me having pristine execution just from following my plan. And so if you take anything away from this last bit of the call is the strategy is not what is making you money. The strategy gives you the edge. Pick a strategy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Pick a strategy. That is what gives you the edge. That's what feeds you the trade ideas. When to get in. A lot of times they're going to tell you when to get in, when to get out, at least give you some sort of plan to follow. The strategy gives you an edge, a higher probability. But at the end of the day, what gets you paid is your proper risk management and your discipline. And your discipline. So don't self-sabotage. Okay. We've got to control those variables of exiting, entering, not exiting early, not holding a trade longer than we should be in, not letting it, go to stop loss and continue to move our stop loss when it should have already taken us out. None of that. We got to let the math run its course. So this whole thing is about probability, and it doesn't matter. Like remove every variable possible and just take every trade that is according to your plan. And also remember this. They talk about this a lot in their sessions, but especially their psychology sessions. But just remember this. I think this will take, at least it did for me, take a lot of the tension off of your trading, take a lot of the attachment, detaching yourself from what you're actually doing. There's no connection from the last trade to the next trade. There's no correlation from the last trade you just took to the next trade you're about to take. I know sometimes we can look back at our log of trades and be like, man, I just had 3 losses in a row. I just had 5 losses in a row. And we think that that's going to be our future. That's going to be our next trade. I'm here to tell you it's just not the case. It's a game of probabilities. Follow a strict risk management protocol and recognize that every trade is different. There's a random distribution when it comes to trading, and don't be attached to the outcome. So the last couple of things I want to share with you guys. Let's see. Oh, this is one of the last things I want to share with you. I was going to ask you guys who has ever felt discouraged, but I think we all can agree at some point or another we have felt discouraged. We felt unmotivated. We felt maybe a little doubt, maybe a lot of doubt, maybe a little defeat. Is this actually going to work out? Is this actually going to be something I can make of myself? I can make a possibility. I can actually do this thing. And I just want to share with you, I believe at the end of the day, if we're experiencing those feelings that turn into the state that we're walking in, it's most likely because we feel this way. We have this outlook because we're still attached to the results. We're still attached to the results. And I don't want you guys to be attached to the results. I know it's really easy to say. But I think a way to help us stop being attached, or at least let go of that idea of what result I want by this deadline. I had this conversation with somebody the other day. I think it was Jake and I, we were talking, and just the reason why people fail and quit in trading is because they have a time frame on when they want to see success in their trading results. And if they don't see it by that deadline, which is insane, like if you're trying to lose weight, the goal is not to just lose weight. The goal is to be healthy. So why would you quit? Why would you quit that? Same thing here. The goal isn't just to make some money. You've been dealing with the same financial problems for the last decade. The goal is not to just make some money. The goal is to become wealthy. So we're not going to just quit something. Trading is a skill where you're able to learn how to make money at will. It's priceless. You can't put a price tag on this. You are literally learning how to multiply money. When I saw that I could turn $10 into 20, 40 into 80, 500 to 1,000, I was like, I don't care how long this is going to take me. This is my plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you name it. And I know that I'm gonna develop over time, and I'm gonna learn this thing. I'm gonna figure this thing out. But I think we can relieve ourselves from that attachment by just understanding and knowing that the market moves as far as the trade outcomes. It's a random distribution of probabilities. Random distribution of probabilities. It goes back to what I just said. The last trade you took has nothing to do with the next trade that you're about to take. That takes so much pressure off of me because I can just trade for the trade that I have right now. And something that Mike Navarrete says, so good, man. Write this down. He said, today's trade is not for today. It's for the overall tally. You are not just trading for today. This is just another trade in line for your sequence of trades. That random distribution. There's a sequence of trades you're going to take. Let's say you take 100 trades in the entire year. This is just a ballpark guesstimate. In knowing that I have, I'm about 48% accurate, I'm going to break even on about 52 of those trades, whatever the number is. I'm not going to be defeated or doubtful or in fear or retreat or over leverage or gamble my way to the next trade because I understand that there is a random distribution when it comes to the probabilities of the trades that I'm taking. And this trade is just another trade in line with the sequence of trades I must take. I'm not trading just for today. I'm trading for the overall tally, for the overall game. I got to just be here tomorrow. So okay, I have like 5 scriptures. I'm not going to share them all with you. I will share one with you. Romans 5:3, verse 3 and 4. It says, not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance. I love this, man. I love this because people don't endure these days. People don't have perseverance. People can't outlast their process because they don't like something over here. They don't like how things are going in this situation. Things are hard. Things are tough. I'm not seeing the results I want. I got to go plant my flag over here. I got to go plant myself over here. I got to, up over whatever it is. People can't endure. Not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings. Not that sufferings produce not knowing that suffering produces endurance and endurance produces character and character produces hope. Character produces hope. I love that, man, because at the end of the day, like this is a faith game. This is about faith. Our faith requires hope. It is the confidence. It is the substance of what we hope for, the assurance of what we do not see, the things that we do not yet see. Until you're living through it, and you've got to make decisions that are backed by the faith that you thought that you had. Now it's a reality. Do you still have the faith? Do you have endurance? Can you outlast? This is so much more. This is so much bigger. This is so much deeper than just trying to make some money. And this is why I don't get people started that are just trying to make a quick buck. I really try to make sure that, and I'm telling you guys this here tonight, so that when you go through this process or you ever try to onboard somebody and get them introduced to what we have here, they're set up for success. They're not just here for a quick gain. Knowing that suffering produces endurance. Through the suffering, through the hardships that you're going to go through, on the other end of it is endurance. On the other end of it, you're going to produce character, Christ-like character, good character, reliable, strong, reliable character developed through overcoming these trials produces hope, and hope is required when it comes to faith. You must have hope. It's the confidence in what we hope for, the substance of what we hope for. So do you still have faith? Do you still show up? Do you still have hope? Find the money to invest in yourself and your membership and your accounts every single month. By grace through faith, God has made another way for you. That's something to be grateful for. After every loss, even after loss, you still have hope. You still have perspective. You still keep showing up. Even after a tough day, maybe even a tough week, maybe even a tough month, maybe it's been a hell of a year, you still show up. Don't ever underestimate the power of showing up. You continue to focus on what you want most instead of what you want right now. You don't do just what's comfortable or inconvenient. You do what's necessary. You do what's required. Even when time has passed and you thought that things would have been different by now, how many of y'all can agree? How many of y'all can relate to that? Man, I've been doing this for some time now, and you're so focused on the time. You're so attached to the result, but you still show up anyways. You're trying to change and alter and transform your perspective to see this in a new way. I'm always asking God throughout the day, whenever I'm experiencing different things, God, help me to see this in a new way. Help me to see this just like you. Help me to have my eyes, keep my eyes on you, God. Help me to see this in a more mature outlook. I'm always trying to see this in a higher way, in a more grace-filled way, whatever the situation is. So, guys, I know we kind of went off on here tonight. We're about to go to church, so I got to end this call right now. And that is another reason. Last thing I'll say here is I'm going to church tonight because with the little faith that I may have, or a lot of faith that I have, it doesn't matter. I'm still showing up because I'm expectant of a God move. I'm expectant of something to happen, whether it's inside of me or I can affect somebody else, make an impact on somebody else. I am expectant. I am faith filled. And that's what I hope these calls are for you. We're going to do a call just like this again in some way, shape, or form to help encourage and build your faith and build your belief and give you that maybe reset, that reminder, give you more fuel added to the momentum that you're creating in your life. Just get around the campfire, y'all. Remember that the fire is for you. Know that you're not alone. You don't have to walk this journey by yourself. Oh my gosh, I forgot to do this. Let me take a screenshot. I was going to do a giveaway on this call, but we have got to go. So let me take a screenshot of everybody that's on here. 9 people. Hopefully nobody left. Anybody leave? And I will post the screenshot. I'll do the whole video of the giveaway. Y'all like some crypto? Winner will get some crypto from moi. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your night. See y'all in the chat. See y'all in Mexico. Talk to y'all next time. Peace.